Savage.
What's going on, Savages? Welcome back. Another episode of the fantastic Savage Snowflake podcast. I should have changed my t-shirt. You can tell that I'm recording double episodes in the same day. That's sometimes how it has to go before I fly out to New York City for a week of shows at the Comedy Cellar, the Stand, Stand Up New York Comedy Club, West Side Comedy Club, Dangerfields, all across the entire city over the course of that. I'll be appearing on lots of podcasts myself as well. Not just this one. So there's a couple of episodes that are going to drop whilst I'm away. The first one would have been Pete Lee's episode, and then my other guest who I got on today, I will introduce in just a second. But first, I want to say thank you very much to all of you guys who've been supporting us over at patreon.com/SavageSnowflake. Remember, you can donate a little bit of money and make me feel good. It does help a lot. It's an immense support if you can go over there and maybe throw $5 my way. You can do as little as $1 a month if you want. If you are enjoying all of the episodes you get every single month, completely free of charge across all platforms on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and on YouTube in video format, then maybe consider going, you know what, I'm going to buy a pint for Jeff. I'm not going to spend it on alcohol because I don't drink anymore, but I will spend that on improving the podcast and keeping this bad boy afloat. Patreon.com/SavageSnowflake. Go and invest in the content that you love. Also, thank you very much to our sponsors. Over here we've got BoundlessTech.com. They are the finest purveyors of vaping technology. If, like me, you like to smoke a little bit of flower, a little bit of resin, a little bit of distillate, they got everything you need. All of their kit. There'll be more about that later on in the show. Check them out, bndlstech.com. If you use code SAVAGE, you get 20% off all of their units. Sorry, 25% off all of their units at boundlesstech.com. And, of course, manscaped.com, the finest purveyors of refining the gentleman kit, I guess it would be described as, or grooming kit. They got Lawnmower 2.0. That's the one that I use to trim up all my body hair, keep it all nice, take the downstairs area down to a fine topiary so my lady can enjoy making love to me without, feeling a little bit gross because I'm a bit hairy. Maybe you are too. You need to take care of that shit, gentlemen. Sort your life out. And ladies, I'm sure you can use it too. It will never nick your nuts. It will never hurt your vagine. There's all sorts of products over there. Manscaped.com, 20% off using code SAVAGE. You also get free shipping and you'll also get a free travel bag worth $50. Can't say fairer than that. We'll talk about them a little bit later on the show, but first of all, let me introduce my guest. Joining me today is comedian, writer, performer Renaldo Evans, who has got an Amazon Prime special. He's just gone live. It's called Laugh After Dark. It's season 2. He's been featured in that as one of the stand-ups on that special. He's also going to be shooting his own special August 31st, which is going to be out in Palm Springs, right?
Palm Springs, correct.
And that's for Step 1 TV. So you're blowing up right now, and I'm glad we got you on before. Well, you're starting to. Look at you laughing at it like, nah, I'm not blowing up.
Not even close.
Is that not fair? I think this is your first short special, and also this will be your first full special.
Second, actually.
This is the second one, is it?
Second short special, first full 30-minute special just for me. Yeah.
That's pretty good. That is blowing up, man. You got to look at yourself a little more positively.
Yeah, okay, I'm blowing up bigger than what I was.
There you go. But it's all fucking relative, man.
Yeah, it is.
Compared to last week,
yeah,
you're blowing up.
Yeah, exactly.
But then compared to a year's time, you'll be like, what even was that special?
Yeah, what was it? What was that even doing?
What was he even doing in that half hour?
Exactly. That's what I'm going to be saying.
I've been trying to get you on the podcast for a while. We did a show together at the Ha Ha Comedy Cafe out here in LA.
Yep.
And there was some great acts on that lineup.
It was.
There was some ropey acts on that lineup as well. But you went on stage. We both had a great show.
We did.
And you went up on stage and were wearing like a cowboy hat, big white cowboy hat, and all the jewelry. You had all like rings and necklaces on and wrists. Yeah, and then you had like skinny jeans like you got on today. And I was like, oh my God, this is black me. Because we, at least aesthetically.
Yeah. Same.
Like we looked like we could have been in the same band that night.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then you started talking and you were also incredibly funny. Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, I definitely want to get Renaldo on the podcast at some point.
I appreciate it.
And then you didn't come on because you're fucking busy or something. You were like, oh yeah, sorry, man. And then I fucked up because I invited you on and didn't put it in my fucking diary.
Yep.
So you turned up here and I made you a nice cup of tea and I apologize.
I did. It was great. It was a great cup of tea.
It was a lovely little stopover and I didn't put you out. You were around the corner, so it wasn't too bad.
Exactly.
But then this is it. We've done it. This is the one.
We're here today.
Come together. So we've worked hard to get you on here.
Oh yeah.
And we actually specifically, when we might as well jump straight into it.
Let's do it.
Because I posted some stuff about a female comedian who has been featured on a show that actually I'm going to be shooting an episode of next week. Comedy Central show called This Week at the Cellar.
Yeah.
where they shoot, I think it's something like 10 hours of stand-up performances down at the Comedy Cellar over the course of the week. Yeah. They take the 100 different comedians who performed over those 10 hours and they whittle that down to maybe like 12 acts, doing a few gags, and it ends up being about 15 minutes of the show. It's a 22-minute episode, half-hour episodes, 22 minutes, not including commercial breaks. And so it's like 10 hours down to 15, 100 comics down to about 12. Anyway, one of the female comedians who appeared on that, Dina Hashem, is that right? Is that her name?
I believe that is her name.
Dina Hashem?
We can check.
Took some real flack recently. There was an episode of the show that went out a couple of weeks ago, and in that episode, she made a joke about the joke. We really shouldn't paraphrase it. Maybe it makes sense to play it on my phone.
Yeah,
definitely. I should probably pull it up, right?
Definitely.
But it was basically a joke about the rapper and performer XXXTentacion, Tentacion, as she says it in the joke.
Yeah.
Are you going to pull up the clip? Have you got the clip, or shall I do it?
You got to pull it.
Dina Hashem.
They pulled it now.
Dina Hashem joke. There you go. It's just immediately. That's what you need to do. Dina Hashem joke. Let's see if I can find a video. It's got to be on YouTube somewhere.
It's got to be.
Is this the one? Has it joke? Joke about, let me put XXX. So basically, she makes a joke about the rapper XXXTentacion. Oh, I see. Now this is where we differ. We're gonna have to get into it because I don't think the joke is about him. I think the joke is about celebrity culture and about highlighting the lunacy of driving around with tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars and kind of showing off about on social media. But effectively, the joke, she says, XXXTentacion was murdered. And robbed. He sort of showed off about having a lot of money on him, a lot of cash to go and buy a motorcycle. I think he was in his car and he was driving down to buy a motorcycle. And some guys went down and they shot him, they killed him, and they took his money.
Correct.
And she goes, and whilst, it's I think she said, this is why we should bring it out. I think she goes, it's obviously very sad that he was killed. That's awful. But I do think it could be a killer commercial for Venmo.
Yeah.
Which I think is a very funny joke.
It's a very good joke. Very good joke.
Written.
I'm a comedian, so it's a good joke. But I'm also a black guy from Florida.
Right. Well, this is, and then to set the scene, you then said, you messaged me back and went, this is not, here you go. I think this has got the joke, hopefully. You were like, nah, this ain't the one. This joke ain't the one, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. Let's discuss this. Yep. You messaged me and went, well, I'll come on the podcast. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Because we need to get into the ins and outs of it. Let me see if I can play the joke first. Here you go. So here we go.
Is anyone still mourning XXXTentacion? He's a rapper who was murdered. He's dead now. He was shot. He was on his way to buy a car with $50,000 in cash, and somebody shot him and took the money, which is very tragic. But I think also it would be a very good Venmo commercial.
It's a funny joke, man. Right.
No, it's a funny joke.
That's the joke.
That's the first thing I thought when I heard that.
Okay. So this was the joke that she made. Now, what happened off the back of this, to set the scene, is the joke was eventually pulled. XXXTentacion fans, the majority of which are very young people, were in uproar. How dare this comedian make a joke about our dead Lord and ruler XXXTentacion? How dare she do that? And they complained to Comedy Central. Mm-hmm. Comedy Central reacted and removed the joke from the show, pulled it online, etc., wherever it was out. And she has received death threats. She's had people release her mother's address and to say that here's her mum's address, we should go kill that bitch, blah 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 blah. And she's had to make all her accounts private. She's removed it. She apologized to the joke. I didn't read the apology, so maybe we can go through that as well. But you and I clearly have slightly different opinions on how this joke works, whether it's okay to make the joke, and what the aftermath of a comedian making a joke like that could possibly be, and how we can manage that. But that's why you reached out. You were like, man, I don't think this is the one. So first of all, let me hand it over to you. You tell me what you hate about the joke, or why you find it distasteful, or what it is about it that makes you not okay with it.
Okay, like I said, good joke, but the only thing I find distasteful about it is this is very soon in his life, and the thing is, in Florida.
You mean quite soon after his passing,
after his passing of his life, you make this joke, and the thing is, you set it up well. You did what you did, but there's other ways that you could have got that Venmo joke out that you wanted to do, and I just feel like there's no empathy for young black men. Because, like I said, I'm from Florida. This is. It seems it becomes worthy for news. Like, you get blips of black men being killed in Florida, but this is a daily occurrence in Florida.
Absolutely, yeah.
So when a young man,
not just in Florida,
yeah, but when a young black man from the South gets killed in my state, where we've had Trayvon Martin, we've had Jordan Davis, which was my hometown, Jacksonville, Florida. A guy was just shot in a parking lot defending his girlfriend. He pushed the guy, and the guy fell down, pulled out a gun, and shoots him. So I see this consistently, and I have to deal with this consistently because I've had to bury friends. So then when I see this joke, I'm like, you can make the joke. You have all the rights in the world to make the joke. But it's an improper joke. It's a joke you don't do because I feel like you don't have any empathy for us, because this goes back to my thing, well, we don't do gay jokes anymore. You can't go to a comedy club. You'd be amazed if you hear 2 or 3 gay jokes in 6 hours of sitting in a comedy club. But back in the 80s and the 90s, this would have been half of the jokes would have been on them. And it's because they stood up and they said, we take offense to this being treated this way.
Sure.
And I feel like XXXTentacion fans reached out because they were upset, but it's different ways that I felt about it. Like I said, I wasn't going to lambaste her. I wasn't going to publicly go after her.
No, sure. Which you didn't do, by the way. I want to highlight that. You literally just sent me a message. And
yeah.
Because I was in defense of her right to tell a joke without the fear of receiving death threats or having a family's address released and death threats against them for what was clearly not only a joke, but I think a very well written, very funny joke.
Very funny.
I think it's a very funny joke.
It's a fun. I can make 100 Nazi jokes funny, but I don't do them.
Can I ask you? Well, I mean, I feel like no one would be upset about that,
yes,
apart from maybe a few white guys with tiki torches in Alabama. But let me ask you a couple of questions first of all. Now, as far as I know, and this is maybe there's new information, but as far as I know, XXXTentacion was killed by black men.
Yes, of course.
Who wanted to rob him.
Of course.
Okay, so those are 2 things. Now, if he was a white rapper, would the joke be it would be fine because he wouldn't be a young black man who had been killed.
Well, yeah.
It would have been a young white man who'd been killed for the same reason, for the same stupidity.
I don't know, because here's the thing: if Eminem gets shot, because he has money on him, you're not making that joke about Eminem because you know it's a million death threats coming down the pipeline from his fans.
I mean, I'd 100%. If I'd written that joke about XXXTentacion, I would 100% write the same joke using Eminem's name.
No, you can, but you. That's the whole thing about comedians. Everybody's like, well, we can't say this, we can't say that anymore. You can say whatever you want, but you just have to be ready for the repercussions of your actions.
So it's more a case of saying, look, she can make the joke, but then she can't be surprised when people go, yo, bitch, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Because that's my.
I make Trump jokes. I get those all in my DMs when the videos go live. So you can't be, oh well, I'm gonna go private. No, you're a comedian. And that's the thing. A lot of young comics come into this believing, I can say whatever I want to. No, you can. But there are consequences. So those comedians that everybody loves to talk about, well, Richard Pryor said this, Lenny Bruce said this, Don Wrinkle said this. And there were repercussions. They didn't make as much money as Bill Cosby. They didn't get as much TV accolades as the clean comedians.
So maybe I misunderstood, because when you first contacted me, I thought it was you saying, I just don't think she should be making this joke.
No, I don't. I still don't think she should make it. If you make a joke about, if a gay guy gets killed and you make a funny joke about that, I'm going to tell you, oh, the joke's funny. But in this atmosphere right now, I don't feel like this is the proper time for you.
And it's because she's also a young white woman.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where, okay, so you have a lack of empathy for a dead. Like, I saw XXXTentacion. No joke comes to my mind when I think about his death. Like, I can't even fathom.
I mean, thousands of jokes come to my mind when I think about him. And I'll tell you the reason why. This is what I want to throw in as a devil's advocate concept.
Go ahead.
And why I jumped to the defense of Dina like so many people in the comedy community did.
Yeah.
I don't think her joke was aimed at a young black man. I think her joke was about the concept of money, clout, drip, drip, fame, celebrity. But I think the concept of the joke, the reason why she used him in that joke is because he's a relevant, recent public figure. And in the same way that you say, when someone can make a joke about this, they have to expect the repercussions. Well, my counter argument is, when you decide to make millions of dollars and become a notable public figure and star and influencer, first of all, you're fair game. That's our job, is to mock every facet of society, and especially the biggest, most gregarious characters. So whether it's fucking Trump, who I think is a cunt and I regularly mock, or XXXTentacion, who by all accounts led a life of a piece of shit for a lot of it.
He was, but he's still somebody's kid, and that's why I said
so is Trump. So is Trump. Yeah.
But this goes, Trump somebody's kid.
He's not dead, though.
He's not dead. He's somebody's. But this is the whole thing when Kathy Griffin did the photo shoot holding his head. There's repercussions behind this.
Sure.
One, it's not funny. Two, you can't do that because he's the president. When he's just a TV stand-up guy or, a reality show host.
Or a rapper,
Yeah, Trump's done it all. That's the insane thing. Land blast him. But when you get in trouble for holding his head, consequences are going to come with it.
Sure.
I don't have
that was a poor example for me to use, because it doesn't. We have to find something a bit more like Mac Miller, for instance, could have been. Although again, Mac Miller killed himself.
And we're in a drug epidemic right now in this entire country, really worldwide. So it's one of those things where I see jokes all the time. Like we see funny in the darkest places.
Yeah.
I make jokes about kids getting kidnapped and all of those things. But if a kid had just got kidnapped, I'm not making that joke the very next day, especially if it's news and somebody like.
How would you feel about, because XXXTentacion, by the way, didn't die a couple of weeks ago. He didn't get killed a couple of weeks ago. This happened months and months and months ago.
But it hasn't been a year.
I would almost hazard a guess it was almost like a year ago he passed away.
No, I don't think it's even been a year.
Not that long?
No, I don't think it's been a year.
We should look it up because I want to make any thoughts I have be based in the truths of what it is. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
When did but if a black comic had made the joke, how would you have felt about it?
If a black comic had made the joke, but that's the thing. I don't feel a black comic would have done it, because it's
June 18th, 2018. So it's over a year. It's over a year. Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, like I said, I can't bring myself to make that joke the same way. If you're a mom, I doubt you're a mom and you're a comedian. She can make a joke about a guy sleeping with a 12-year-old girl the way I can, because I can find 1,000 funny things in this. But I've done those kind of jokes and had moms walk out of my show.
Sure.
And their friends are like, she has a 12-year-old daughter, but I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I understand that. I don't see your side of that argument.
What if a comic came up to you after that show and went, yeah, you can't tell that joke. You can't make that joke.
Oh, I'd have said no.
Because there's 12-year-old girls who are being raped and killed, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And I'd have said, yeah. And when those people are in the audience, they're going to leave and they're never going to be my fan. I'm never going to get their money. So that's why I said I came up in the South. I do in Trump plus areas where they love him to death.
Yeah.
I'll let him blast him for 15 minutes.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I understand, I don't like that. People say this is shit. They walk out. You have to be ready for that. And that's why I'm saying, as a young comic, you're allowed to make this joke, but there are repercussions behind it.
Well, look, we're on the same page that I think if you make a joke about any kind of notable figure with a fan base, especially behind them, you 100% have to expect some kind of social media kickback. Oh, yeah. There's going to be a reaction to every action. That I 100% agree with. I think the concept that making a joke about someone who put themselves in the public eye like that, and for all intents and purposes as well, was a piece of shit. Like he literally kidnapped his own fucking baby mama. Like had her handcuffed up.
It's Florida. I don't know the whole story. Baby mama say a lot of things.
Well, I've read. Yeah, I mean, like he was a pretty.
I'm not. He ain't no angel. He's definitely not an angel.
At least like there were quite a number of recordings and evidence to corroborate this woman's story that he was very physically abusive to her, even when she was heavily pregnant with his child.
Right. First, this is not an NFL player. This guy weighs 115 pounds.
Oh, it doesn't, but you give a 115-pound guy an attitude, a hardcore upbringing, and a fucking gangster lifestyle, and a gun in his hand. I'm scared of a 115-pound dude with all of that shit going behind him. I'm not gonna fuck around with him. No. And if someone has a gun in his fucking in his belt, and then sorry about that. If he has a gun in his belt and his this guy, for all intents and purposes, is I'm not sure which of his what affiliation he had. He was Bloods as well, wasn't he?
No, none of these rappers are really gay.
No. But
Nipsey Hussle was in a gang, and he's gone. Snoop was in a gang.
I understand, but but they'll all claim.
No,
like
they're buying. They're
you know,
buying their way into gangs, and these paper thugs.
Tekashi 6ix9ine, will very, very flagrantly highlight that he's Bloods
But
all day.
These are people paying to be a part of the gang and to get street cred.
Again, though, you play as part of the gang.
No,
you're trying to put yourself in that world.
Of course.
So what I'm saying is, let's aside, because I want to break down what is it that has upset people so much. Because here's my outlook. What upset them is that 11-year-olds are voracious online, and this kid had an army, a millions-strong army of fucking children.
Yeah, the teens.
And children and teens and tweens will go, how dare you ever... The same thing would have happened if someone had cracked a joke about a member of the Backstreet Boys back when they were prolific, if one of them had died. If one of the Backstreet Boys
I would have made that joke. If one of them dies dancing on a rooftop, I'm making that fucking joke.
And you know what? All of their fans will go, fuck Renaldo Evans. And here's Renaldo Evans' home site. Now, this is where it gets to a point. You're able to make the joke and you're able to expect some kind of verbal repercussion. You're a piece of shit. When someone starts saying, I'm going to go to your mother's house, rape that bitch, put a gun in her mouth and fucking smoke her, I go... Maybe that's an overreaction.
It's an overreaction.
It's a little bit of an overreaction,
but I'm from the north side of Sherwood. You're not going to my mother's house anywhere in Jacksonville with this madness.
You understand?
Yeah, I understand exactly. But this is why I say you have to be ready for what's coming down the pipe. If you're not ready for this, you shouldn't say this joke. And the only problem I had with her joke is it felt like there's no empathy for us because, like,
what about in the bit of the joke where she literally says? And he was, murdered for money, which is tragic. Do you think she was not being sincere?
She's pandering. She's a comic. That's what we always say. We always open up and try to be a little bit nice before we get crazy rough with you.
And I'm going to call you on this because you're a fucking comedian. We are the last bastions of fucking free speech.
No, we are.
And hopefully laying it out how we see it.
Yeah.
Telling the jokes that are the things that you think in your head, but no one would ever dare say.
Exactly.
She even says that. She goes... She's like, I know, is it wrong? But that's the first thing I thought.
It is wrong, but it's hilarious.
Funny concept. And it is, most of the jokes we tell are wrong.
Yes.
They're wrong things to think. But we know that everyone thought it. And we have the balls to go, hey,
let's say this.
Did anyone else just think, God, maybe he should have used Venmo? And that's fucking funny.
Hilarious.
Now, I understand there's different contexts, there's different ramifications of a young white woman who, let's be honest, out of all the people in the world right now, I know that women want to say that men are the biggest piece of shit on the planet, but white women in particular have been pretty well protected by white men.
Exactly.
And continue to benefit from all the privileges that you have having white skin.
It's a team.
I want to make jokes about race, and I do, and I want to talk about those things. And when I talk about them, I don't ever take in consideration that someone's going to threaten me or my family, because I would like to think that an audience is intelligent enough, which 11-year-olds are not.
No.
Especially 11-year-olds on the internet. Especially 11-year-olds on the internet who listen to an artist and are in love with them and consume with them. Especially 11-year-olds on the internet who are consuming an artist, but also have never set foot in a comedy club and don't have the maturity to understand the context. They don't understand context. They just see hatred towards someone they love and they react to it. But pulling someone's address, I'm like, motherfuckers, you need a slap. Well, you're first of all, you're fans of a rapper. Man up, you fucking pussies. Yeah, you think XXXTentacion would have given a solitary fuck about that if he got shot in the leg and hadn't been killed, and she'd made the joke and gone, he got shot in the leg, which is she's
viral.
That's awful. That's tragic. But here's a great advert for Venmo. I guarantee XXXTentacion would have laughed at the joke.
Oh, of course, he'd have loved it.
And might even have retweeted it.
Yeah, of course, he would have loved it.
So it's like, it's this selective outrage. If you're gonna get if yourself or anyone, and you're not angry because you're an XXXTentacion fan,
God,
and she broke your, how dare you, and so on. No. I'm assuming you're like more of a case of going, I think as you said a number of times, it doesn't show empathy for an epidemic of young black men.
We're literally fighting that war right now.
Well, first of all, the war in this particular instance, in a very real sense,
Yeah.
I'm just talking at the very surface level, was a black on black crime here for
Yeah,
robbery, right?
But that's where crime comes from due to poverty.
I understand there's ramifications and reasons for that, which are not the black community is not responsible for.
Yeah.
If you're pushed into ghettos, you're not given opportunities, you're told that you'll never have anything. Selling drugs and fucking, and stealing other people's shit in your community is the only way you can fucking feel like you can get ahead.
Yeah.
So I understand there's a different, bigger picture to it. But I think this was a woman making a joke about a celebrity who got killed because he was a fucking idiot. And the joke isn't even about his death. It's about the concept of wealth and
that is literally okay. So you like you said,
do you get what I'm saying?
No, I get that, but once again, this comes back to the empathy of, well, why does he have all this money? Why is he telling everybody I have it? Because he's from nowhere. He's had nothing his whole life. And when you have black skin, you are literally brought up, raised in school to
saying
understand.
In the black community would be N-rich.
Exactly.
The N-word rich. He's N-rich. So
he's nigga rich. You got to show it off. But this is the whole point.
I'm glad you said it, not me.
But this is the whole point. No, I got you to help you out. But this is the whole point behind he's doing this because he was never.
White man floundering. Send in a black man to say the N-word immediately.
I'm just saying. Hey, you got to have a black friend on deck just to let somebody know. But this is the whole purpose. That's why I say, so when you spout off like that, I'm like, you can make that joke, but did you even think about making this joke in a time where it's too many of us to be named? I could go Stanley Ayanna Jones. I could go down the list of everyone who's been killed.
If she'd added a line in within the context of it where she said, I mean, this is an epidemic, young black men, getting wealthy. And also, can I pose a question? Maybe and this is another devil's advocate question.
Go ahead.
Maybe we don't need to have empathy with every joke we tell as comedians. Maybe she looked at it and went, you know what? This guy beat the shit out and kidnapped.
No, that's your view.
No.
Because you're like,
these are police reports, and this is
but she doesn't.
Also, the woman saying it. Hey, here's another epidemic: young black women being treated like shit by spouses, like young black women being beaten up by their fucking boyfriend. Does that happen in the ghetto as well?
Yes, that goes hand in hand with poverty. Because when somebody get beat up, we're like, what's going on with him? Oh, he lost his job.
I'm just trying to throw
a
concept at you.
Oh,
Maybe Dina Hashem went like this. I empathize with a young woman unable to leave an abusive relationship. And then the guy in that became incredibly successful, incredibly wealthy, and then showed off about it and got shot. And you know what? I thought of a really funny Venmo joke, and fuck XXXTentacion.
But she didn't.
I don't give a shit.
But she did. And a guy got shot. She thought of a funny joke about it and didn't understand, okay, this is a young black man who got shot. It's the same way, like I said, first
of all, neither of us know how she crafted the joke, why she crafted it, what she empathizes with, and what she doesn't. We don't know her. We don't know her, man.
No, I know she didn't, but I know you didn't think that because she would have stood her ground on it. If she had the way you feel about it, I know you wouldn't have took the joke down. You'd have been like, oh, fuck him. Do
you want to know the reason why? Because if someone tells me, first of all, my parents live in England.
Exactly.
There's no XXXTentacion fans jumping on a fucking plane to go to my mum's house.
I know, exactly.
And my mum would open the door and make them a cup of tea. Like, what? What the fuck? Secondly, here's the reality. If I made a joke like that and the kickback was a stink, I go, yo, it's a joke. Guess what a gangster like fucking XXXTentacion would like you to do? Stop being a fucking pussy bitch and understand it's a joke. Also, good luck coming to my house. Because I'm 6'4" and I'm a big motherfucker, and I will cut someone's throat if they come to my house with weapons. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, guess what? That might actually be worse. She didn't do that because she's a tiny little girl.
I know that,
and she's fucking scared.
Welcome to the gladiator sport, honey. This is why when we stand on stage, we know, oh, this asshole might rush the stage up here.
So what you're saying is you were more frustrated that she didn't weigh up the. I'm sorry, I don't want to put words in your mouth. No. I'm asking, is it more your issue that if she's going to make a joke like that, she absolutely deserved the kickback? Or are you more upset that she made a joke that didn't seem empathetic to young black men and being caught up in the trap of what becoming N-word rich can mean for a
nigga
man.
rich,
Do you know
everybody.
what I mean?
We're just gonna.
Do you know what I'm saying though?
It's just rich. When he says rich, it would mean nigga rich.
I'm currently like conflicted about what you're upset about.
It's all of it. But my whole thing is this: as a comedian, stand on your joke. When you make your joke, this is your joke. Live and die with
agree.
it.
I 100% agree.
As a comedian,
100% agree.
As a black man, I'm upset because I feel like it's a lack of empathy. If anything had happened between an NFL player and his girlfriend, let's say an NFL player kills a white woman as his girlfriend, I'm not gonna go out the next day and say, well, you can't keep dating the NFL player. You know, I'm not making this joke because...
No, we just give it 20, 30 years, and when he gets out of jail, we just give him his own TV show and we'll completely forget about it.
We are going to do that, but the whole point is, like, I'm not going to make the joke substantially on the way she got murdered or how she got murdered. I can't bring myself to that because, like I said, I'm separated from it, and that's why I said I had two diametrics opposed. I was like, as a comedian, it's funny. Stand on it. Don't run from your joke, but you got to know
we're 100% in agreement on that. I think if you're going to make a joke,
there's repercussions and consequences.
You do have to understand the ramifications. You do have to expect kickback if it's going to if it's a public figure, and you have to be 100% certain that you are so in belief of that joke. You go, you know what, this joke is really funny, and if people come at me for it, I'll go, it's a very funny joke.
Exactly,
it's intended as a joke, and if you don't get it, fucking move on.
This is what happens when you throw young comics into the wolves. I'm like, oh, you got thrown to the wolves and you didn't know what this was? This has happened to everybody.
But then let's put it in a different situation. You make a joke that you stand behind, you think it's hilarious, and then someone says to you, Renaldo, they message you up and go, yo, 218 something Boulevard, blah 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 blah. That's where your mama lives, right? I'm gonna go around there right now, and she's gonna get a fucking throat fucked, and then she's gonna get a bullet to the head. How much are you going to stand on your joke when your mum's life is being threatened?
I'm still going to stand on it because I've had.
Because you fucking hate your mum. Which is another epidemic in the black community. How can we stop this cycle?
No, my mom's good. First off,
no, mums are normally the ones who are loved. It's the absent fathers that we don't like.
Yeah, I know my dad. He's great. He's cool.
Okay.
But my mom, she'd be like, yo.
See, there you go. I just made a very general joke, and I stood by it because I knew that you would take it as the joke within the context of the conversation we're having.
Yeah,
but guess what? Someone right now could be like, how dare this white fucking cracker-ass piece of shit make a joke about absent black fathers? And I go, because A, it's a generalization that exists because there's truth to it.
Yeah.
B, making a joke out of it is better than getting upset about it. And C, where's your dad? Go cry to him. Because I don't give a fuck.
No, but this is
But you get what I'm saying.
But this is the difference in certain comics. So here's my thing.
Yeah.
When you get on that stage and you put that mic up, everything happens for a reason. There are consequences.
Yeah.
You made that joke not even understanding the joke you made. When we make a Trump joke in the South, we understand there could probably be some problems out of this audience.
Do you want to know why I jumped on the bandwagon supporting her? And I'll tell you the reason why. I jumped on it not because I am friends with Dina Hashem. I don't know her. We performed at the Comedy Cellar a few times together, I think, last time I was there. But I barely know her.
Yeah.
Not because I've seen loads of her material and I think everything she does is funny. I don't know. I've only seen a handful of her jokes now. I stood up for her because I categorically will always support black, white, Asian, fucking Middle East. I don't care where you're from in the world, what gender you are, what sexuality you are, what age you are, or what your fucking the context your background is. If you make a joke that is clearly designed as a piece of comedy, and people take that comedy and get so angry and offended and upset by it that they start to threaten the lives of you or your loved ones, I will always have your back. Because we have to, as a comedy community, protect everyone in our community.
Oh, yes.
We have to
agree.
protect them. We have to go, no. It's no. Hey. I know social climate. I get it. I see social climate. I see current civil unrest. I see racial tension. I see gender tension. Mm-hmm. I see sexuality tensions. I see all of this. But guess what? Our job is to see those things, make light of them, to make it easier for us to deal with them. And if you threaten one of my brothers and sisters, no race included in that conversation, my brothers and sisters in comedy, irrespective of who they are, where the fuck they're from, if you threaten them, I will fucking stand up for them, because we have to tell jokes. And if you can't take jokes, then fucking stop watching Comedy Central. Don't go to comedy clubs. Don't listen to fucking gags online. And just, you are the issue. You're being offended. You chose to be offended. Fuck you, you soft piece of shit. And I will always do that, whether you're black, white, female, male, gay, straight, because we have to, man. And as soon as I see a comic go, nah, fuck this bitch, this ain't the one, she deserves it, I go, that's problematic for me.
It's not for me because, like I said, as a black man, I see it and I'm like, I don't like that joke. And I don't like every comic's joke that they do. And I'm just like,
shit, man, maybe I'll make a joke one day that upsets people and you won't have my back.
I'm going to have your back and you being able to say the joke and run your joke. But when people come at you crazy, like I said, if you go to Florida and you make a Trump joke, let's say Trump gets shot. You go to Florida and you make a Trump joke, and you like, man, 30 people stormed the stage. Ronaldo be like, you made a fucking Trump joke in the South after he got shot.
First
of
of all,
course, they're storming the stage.
Don't have a death wish.
But this is where I say, like, sir, as older comedians, we know, oh yeah, this is probably not the right time to say this joke, but I am going to say it eventually.
Now, here's my issue.
In New York, you're safe to run that joke. She would never have ran that joke in XXXTentacion's hometown.
Fuck no.
Exact. I would. If I had wrote that joke, I'm running it everywhere. His mama could be front row. This joke's coming. Have a day with it. But I'm okay. Like, we call it the smoke. Do you really want the smoke?
Okay.
So when you write this joke, you have to look at your joke as an adult. This is for adult comedians. Look at your joke and say, what's the potential blowback from me saying this absurd, horrible shit?
Sure.
And then you say, I'm okay with that.
Hang on a sec. Absurd, hilarious.
Hilarious, horrible shit. Yeah. It's always hilarious, but
also, I don't think it's that horrible. I'm sorry. He
died.
Nah.
Only because he died.
Nah, he died. So what? Loads of people die. And guess what? As soon as you're a public figure, if you also, I'm not gonna say he deserves a Darwin Award, but he's not. It's not far off. Like, yo, look at all this money I got. I'm going down to this location with all this money. Guess what?
He's young, dumb,
he's
and
a
black.
fucking idiot. He's an idiot.
He's dumb black. He's a young black kid. If you give a young black, this is why I'm against people giving professional athletes millions of dollars when they're still at 20.
I'm like, no. 85% of them are destitute by the time within 5 years of leaving the industry. Yeah.
Of course, my uncle's first pick of the Carolina Panthers. I'm like, give the money to them. Like, let them sign the contract. You don't get the money until you're 38.
Oh, that goes to a business manager. If you make any sense.
No, that ain't not even. The NFL should hold your money and be like this. We're going to give you $1 million a year because that's enough money for a 20-year-old to be stupid. And when your career's over with, come see us at 38. You get the rest of your money because you're an adult then, and you'll realize, holy shit, I can't buy $100,000 worth of cocaine.
That's not how the world works. But no, I mean, I get what. I understand. I just feel like I feel like as comics, right? Yeah. I'm a union guy. I'm a SAG-AFTRA union guy.
See, yeah.
I'm a comic union guy. If there was a comedians union,
we need one. There is none because I'm still getting paid what they paid in 1970. No, exactly. You leave the improv. Thanks for the $10.
You're getting paid in LA? First of all, get the fuck out my house. Don't talk to me about young black men on the poverty line. If you're getting paid for comedy in LA,
$10. Yeah, $10 is not a lot of money.
Well, there you go. That's guilt money. That's white guilt money. Because I'm not getting $10.
No. You're the seller. I'm not I trade. You give me the seller, you take $10.
Well, no. In New York, I get paid, but that's because they still respect comedy in New York and they respect the job we do. Whereas here, it's 10,000 out-of-work actors playing a comic.
Exactly.
But for the most part, I'm making gross generalizations. There's a lot of very good comics in LA as well on the West Coast.
It's not that many. I'll say it. He's not going to say it. He has a career.
No. Now, actually, first of all, there's a load of New Yorkers who moved out here.
Yeah,
secondly,
it's a ton.
I could rattle off a list of like at least 50 comics that I think are astounding that have always been West Coast. And there's a lot of good comics out there. There are. There's also just a larger number of shit ones in this city.
It's a ton of actors here.
Exactly. And they know they can get away with no pain. I'm starting to produce a new show, and they told me what the breakdown of the door deal is, and I'm like, but how am I meant to pay acts? And they go, oh, well, I mean, that's up to you. And I'm like, that's why we don't get paid at shows, because even the promoters are giving 70% to the fucking door to the club, or 50%, 50-50 split on tickets. But it's like, hang on a sec, it cost me this much to fucking promote. Anyway, that's a different conversation.
It very is.
I still don't feel like we've reached the issue that I still have is we're in complete agreement that if you make a joke, you have to stand by it and you have to understand there will be ramifications, there will be reactions,
Always.
There will be, where there's smoke, there's fire. You have to understand that.
You have to.
However, I still think that as a community, comedy community, we have to go, if someone starts getting threatened with violence and death threats and their parents' addresses being released and people being told, literally being sent messages, I'm going to go and rape and kill your mother. We have to, as a comedy community, stand up and say, yo, you don't get to do that.
No, 100%.
Audiences, you don't get to do that.
100%.
That's not part of the deal. That's not how it goes. Yeah, you can be pissed off at the joke. You can tell her she's a fucking cunt. You can send her messages every day going, Dina Hashem, you fucking ugly bitch.
Go crazy.
XXXTentacion have more talent in his little finger than you'd ever have in your whole... You can do all of that shit all day, every day. And if she starts getting, people are sending me mean tweets, then I would be, Dina, grow the fuck up. I would absolutely do that. However, this is a different set of fucking threats. And they're not aiming it... It's misplaced, childish, ridiculous anger, and we have to, as a community, go, yo, we get to make jokes, and if you don't like them, you can tell us we're cunts, or you don't listen to the jokes. But you don't get to tell a young woman that you're going to fucking rape and kill her mother and then rape and kill her. You don't get to do that. But the thing is, you don't get to tell a young black man, if guess what, if you made a joke that was about Trump in one of those locations, for instance.
I do.
And yeah, and so do I, man. So do I. And I get the foreigner thing, dirty immigrant. Why don't you fuck off back to England? I get that. Why don't you go back? If you don't like it, why don't you go back to England?
I get a ton of shit.
And you know what? Oh, it happened in Vegas. I did a political bit, my third, not the latest time, but about 3 times ago. I don't do politics in Vegas anymore. Maybe a little bit. I throw a tiny bit in once they're on side and they already like me. Then I throw a little bit in and I word it. Knowingly, I word it such a way that I'm going, yes, I'm a liberal, a classic liberal. Yes, I'm more left-leaning. Yes, I don't think that Trump is anything but a huge piece of shit. However, I'm not attacking you as a Republican. I'm talking about the world and governance and how we're all getting fucked as people. I make it very specific in the wording because I have to.
Exactly.
But here's the difference. If you went and made a fucking joke like that and you were getting threats, you were like, man, you know what? Dude, some fucking redneck neo-Nazis are sending me pictures of my mum's, the outside of my mum's house, and telling me they're gonna kick the doors in a week and they're gonna fucking rape and kill her. They're gonna lynch her. Like a good N-word should be lynched. If that's what you were receiving, motherfucker, I would go around to your mum's house with you to protect that house and protect your mum. I would also be very, and don't give me a little look, I would do that. And I would also actively, because I'm a big lad and I can help, right? But also I would actively, vocally say, yo, if you're threatening Renaldo Evans for a fucking joke and you're threatening him and his family, you're pussies. You're not strong men. You're not big boys. You're a bunch of fucking pussies. Grow up, move on, get over it, and stop threatening comics for jokes. Go after the fucking people who in governance who are fucking you on a daily basis. Like, I would speak out in support of you because you're a comedian and therefore you're my fucking brother, irrespective of whether I know, like, or agree with you.
Oh yeah, but you gotta remember, never spoke out against her. I said that to you in your comment section. I was just like, I'm not okay with this joke. But
I want to pull up the exact message.
Pull it up.
I feel like it was a bit more. Well, it was a little while ago, but I think it was a bit more like. You said a bit more like, nah, she deserves anything she gets from this.
I mean, you have to be ready for the fire that comes. Now, when it comes, I'm going to be like this. You're not allowed. You're not. First off, I don't believe none of them are going to do anything because it's the internet.
Still scary to hear that, isn't it? Still scary to hear it.
I mean, yeah. If I was 5'2", whatever, girl, I'd probably be scared too. You weigh
110 pounds and you're fucking 5 foot nothing. Yeah, you'd probably be a bit scared.
I'm 165.
She's also, look, you and me have experienced different things in our life.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm from the murder capital, so I'll be like, okay, well, come. I've given out my address.
I'm from a lovely suburb of London. Nah, but I know that world, and I know that people, I know dodgy people enough and have been in that world enough to know what is and what isn't a real threat.
Yeah, that's why I like you're on the internet saying this. You're not. First off, you're not coming. You're not coming, and it's cool that you want to do that.
People are going to kill your mum. They've already killed your mum. They send you a photo of her body on the floor. They don't.
Literally the real ones. No one's typing, finding you, doing all this. Is Google Maps. You just pulling Google Map images. That doesn't frighten me. Yeah. And that's why I said I want her to stand behind the joke. But this is the whole issue of young comics just saying anything when they get on stage, and it's like
shock value.
Yeah, and it's like, no, there's a thing that's going to come with this. So when she just said it, she would have said it at an open mic, tested it out. Sure. Someone would have said, hey, you know, it's a lot of stuff going on in the South right now with black people continuing being killed by cops and violence on one another. If you make this joke, it could be bad for you. And she'd be like, oh, I don't care. I'm gonna make it anyway because it's funny.
Right.
Cool. When you make it and then the smoke comes, you don't get to hide and be like, but now they're trying to kill. Listen, when Richard Pryor did it, death threats. when
Lenny
Bruce
Bruce got arrested every single time he left the venue.
Every time he left
he got arrested. He spent all of his money on legal costs. Yeah.
We're going to get arrested. We're going to get death threats. That's why I say when people come into this arena, I try to tell young comics, I'm like, you're in a gladiator sport. It's going to be rough. You're going to have club owners.
If you're going to be that type of comic.
If you're going to be that kind. Because you can go be a clean comic.
I'm sure Anthony Jeselnik doesn't get daily affirmations just going, you know what, I love the positivity of your humor. And he doesn't give a fuck.
And that's the whole issue.
But he's also a grown man with power and money and influence.
But before he wasn't. And that's the thing that we never tell them. We never tell them, we want you to say what you feel is funny and outlandish. We never actually tell them the dark side of, oh, you're going to get 100 DMs
How do you feel
crazy
about
people.
Comedy Central cutting the joke? What do you think about that?
They're a business. They have to do that as a business. But if she would have stood and said, I'm not doing it, and then got other comedians in New York to all post videos and be like, fuck you, we stand with her. Everybody stands. If she'd have got 100 more comments to do that, everybody would have said, oh, okay, we're going to keep this joke up.
I feel like most of the biggest comics in the industry,
I didn't truly see them do that.
There was a lot of
they
Comedy
tweeted.
Central is disgusting.
They did a lot of
people were scared about losing out on their own
exactly.
specials, though.
So they did a lot of thumb action, but that's thumb action. Be serious with it. Put the picture up, put the video up of you with her and say, no, this is an okay joke.
Yeah.
That go to town for it. But like
I
you
just
said,
got to tweet something out real quickly. I just got to retweet her joke and just
yeah. But the whole point is
I stand.
But nobody did that, and like you said, because they're looking at their own bank account.
I literally retweeted.
They're looking
joke.
at their own money. But you're raw. You're a savage for real. So
I'm fucking real.
Yeah, but
I also just don't want comics to ever apologize for jokes. I don't think
they've been doing it the last 15 years.
No, I know, but we got to stop. We got to stop apologizing for jokes. Now, here's the difference. Like, good comedy will win out, I think. So you got. I don't think. No. I think it will if we start being real about it.
Listen, in the comedy club scene, underground scene,
rather
good comedy's
rather than pandering, you know,
we're gonna win out. But mainstream, no, because the same people who tell us don't pander go to mainstream, pander for the check, and I'm like, no one has the balls to go against anything that's being said.
Well, you should be even more support of Dina Hashem then, because she made a joke there that clearly wasn't pandering. It wasn't safe.
It wasn't safe. That's why I say, as a comic, I'm completely behind you with this joke. But as a black man, I'm looking at this joke and I'm like, this ain't one of my favorites. Okay. We can cut this joke. We can cut this joke. Listen, Dave,
like you're editing it.
Yeah, but Dave Chappelle is like, okay, he's taking a dick and he's throwing it on the table. If you're a transgender person who's had post-op surgery, guess what? That's not a joke. You're probably a fan of.
Fuck yeah.
I'm screaming when he does it. Yeah. You are like, he doesn't have any
no empathy for trans people.
None. Zero. You cut your own dick off. This is fucking hilarious to me. Triple X ain't kill himself. It's not like he got caught up in a situation with so many friends.
I got no empathy for Temptation.
Yeah, I know you don't. You're like, he's a piece of shit. Fuck this dude.
No. I like his music. I like some of his songs.
I don't like any of his. I don't like any of his music. I don't download him. I don't bump him.
I think he did some interesting stuff, and
he did.
I like some of his music, but I didn't like the person he was. He seemed like a piece of shit.
He did, but here's my thing of that.
Everyone's like, he changed.
There's no. There's nobody who's a fucking saint, especially in this industry.
Sure.
So I can't use that as, well, he's a piece of shit. Now we get to talk about it. I'm like, he is a piece of shit. But he is a black man before all of that, and right now we're being killed at too high a rate.
See, now
Nipsey
maybe
Nipsey got shot, and it's like, I can't. And
yeah, but Nipsey got killed for some gangster shit as well. He had nothing to do. It wasn't like a white cop rolled in and fucking shot him. And
that joke with Nipsey Hussle, you don't do that fucking joke in L.A.
Well, you know the difference. Also, here's the difference. Nipsey Hussle wasn't a piece of shit. Don't get me wrong. In his early years, he did some some less savory things. Yeah, he was a gangbanger, right? But he made a very clear distinction going, that was a disgusting way that I live my life. I want to now spend the rest of my life dedicating myself to doing good for my community, empowering the people.
But he was only...
Temptation wasn't doing that. He was just that.
Temptation's 22. Nip's 33.
Yeah.
There's a growth process from ignorant black rapper to businessman. Jay-Z first album does not have the same thought process that Jay-Z married to Beyonce has. So that's why my whole thing is XXXTentacion was never even given the chance to grow up and stop being a meathead. Because when you're that age with that kind of money and power, you do unsavory shit. So that's what my thing was. I'm like, and he didn't even get to grow up. I don't know who he really was going to become.
In fact, it might even be described as tragic, like she described it in the joke.
Stop! I love what you're doing. I told you, I have no issue with her. I don't think
she doesn't. Look, from the little that I know of Dina and the little that I'm seeing of her,
yeah.
Let's just make some aesthetic judgments, right? Which may be completely wrong.
Go.
She looks like a young. I mean, she's Middle Eastern. First of all, she's not a white chick. She's Middle Eastern.
That's white in my goddamn book. Nobody's frisking her.
I forgot you have an American education.
Yeah, exactly.
Technically, she would be considered brown in this. No, country,
yeah, she would be considered.
She's not only is she like a young Middle Eastern woman.
She's fair-skinned.
Fair-skinned, brown Middle Eastern woman. Whatever. I also look at her. If I just make aesthetic assumptions, I think she's probably part of that woke crew. Very pro. No. I think she's probably very probably tweets a lot of support of LGBTQ community and also racial tensions. I imagine she's one of those.
I'm not a fan of woke white people.
Sure. Me not. I'm a fan of people who believe in equality. And
who are actually practicing
real and actually turn up to the marches as opposed to just tweeting.
Gotta give a fuck.
What I'm saying is she looks like that. So I don't think she doesn't have at least the surface level of empathy for the epidemic of young black men getting shot by other young black men because they're kept in a trap by big governance.
She's not
I don't think the joke was about that. I think she just looked at it and went, he's a celebrity who did dumb, nasty shit and fucking it caught out with him. And I can make this joke that's a funny joke about money and about Venmo.
No.
And it shouldn't be that big a deal because let's be honest, he put himself out there. Same way. I don't give a fuck that he didn't get to grow up because guess what? He put himself in that position. He put himself in that world and he was a fucking idiot.
Of course, but he's a kid. But here's the thing.
He wasn't. He was a grown man.
No, he's a child.
Hey, and guess what? Nah, fuck you, Renaldo. No, shut up and let me say this. Fuck you, because not only is he not a kid, he was a grown-ass man.
He was 20-something.
He was 20-something. Guess what? So she's not a grown. In that case, she's a fucking kid.
I know she's a kid, which is why she's allowed. And guess what? You're making the same shit mistakes, because here's the thing. Now you get to see what it's really about. Now, I love it.
Now you in it, bitch.
You are. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family when I write this, shit's coming with it. It's coming down your pipe.
She's an OG now.
Yeah.
Original gangster.
Listen, you talk about retards, people who have retarded people in their family, they're coming after you. Talk about transgender, they're coming after you. Welcome to the club.
Trans people roll a little bit differently
I don't know about
to
that.
rap gangsters.
Exactly. But here's the thing. He's a kid.
They're not going to turn up and throw discarded body parts at you. Do you know what I mean?
And he was a rapper, but he wasn't a gangster rapper. This kid was more rock and roll than anything.
Look, his aesthetic and the way he made his music can be ignored. He was a gangster and he was playing gangster for the entirety of his life.
Whatever he was
the reasons for doing that, maybe because he's caught in the trap because of big governors keeping the black community as poverty stricken as possible.
I don't want Dina to have empathy. I don't expect her to have empathy for young black men. I have to have empathy for young black men.
Okay, so and that comes before empathy for comedians.
Yeah, that comes before that. The same way
That's fair.
If I do a mean transgender joke and a transgender comedian there, they're going to be like, oh, I didn't really appreciate that fucking joke. But you are a comic and you're allowed to make it.
And a trans comic might look at that joke and go, no, I'm going to stand with the trans community before I stand with Renaldo Evans' comic. Okay,
and you're supposed to.
Completely fair. Let me
just say, I agree with that. The black community didn't come after her. That was her XXXTentacion's fans. As a black man, I say, well, I'm too empathetic. I'm too close to this situation.
Okay.
It feels like one of my friends got killed.
Understood.
Who's in the industry. So I'm not a fan of that joke.
Understood.
But you are 100% allowed to make this joke. But everything you're getting for this joke, yeah, you're supposed to fucking get that too. And I'm sorry that they didn't teach you that.
Yeah.
But this is the real world. So when you say it and it goes viral, they come with it.
I think we had you know what I think it is then? I think we had a lack of communication.
No, I knew you didn't understand in the text. And I was like, I'll talk to him on this podcast. We'll hash it out on the podcast.
Because I didn't get that. And also, you know what? Like I say, you got to pick your tribes, man.
Yeah.
And your tribe right now, the bigger issue for you, and I understand that. I think this is what you're saying. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that right now, being supportive of the black community and of young black kids who end up in bad situations, maybe because they're coerced into that, or they went down a wrong path, which is because of much bigger issues that are epidemics. That has to be your first port of call for support, rather than comedians.
Yeah, I mean, because she's gonna be fucking all right. You're just on Comedy Central in the cellar. You're gonna be fine with life. He's dead.
It'd be interesting to see what happens with her.
Oh no, she'll be fine.
With her,
because the joke was funny. So if you can write 30 more jokes that are funny like that, you'll be
what
fine.
I think will happen. This is what might end up happening. I could very easily see this happening. Is one of those big, prolific black comedians like a Chappelle or someone like that. Maybe not Chappelle, but someone of that nature. I can see one of them going, "It was a funny joke. I'm gonna hire her as a writer on my show." Like,
exactly.
I can see that.
That's what I'm saying. She's in the long run. You're gonna be fine. The climate is definitely more open towards women.
Habib's all right.
Yeah, listen.
We're definitely not a white woman.
We're trying to pull women comics into this shit. They're fighting to get more women comics. So this was a rough patch for her, but this is a badge. She gets to wear this. You get to wear this badge now. Like I said, the only bad thing is you didn't stand by the joke. Stand by it. Don't go private. Stay public.
That I also
fight them
agree
off.
with. I agree with that as well.
Fight them off.
I think, and also as soon as you start going, sorry, then you're admitting that there was something wrong with what you did.
And now all of your jokes are going to be challenged this way.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing that happened to Tracy Morgan, and he made the joke about the gay son, and they made him apologize. And I was like, oh, he's going to do it because it's too much money to lose not to do it.
I tweeted over, I put in repetition, I went, repeat after me, comedy is subjective, jokes are not your safe space. No. And that's how I'll always stand by everything that I say on stage, on podcasts, etc. If it's delivered as a joke within the context of some kind of comedy situation, if you get offended by it, that's your fucking choice.
Exactly.
And really, sure, I'm empathetic to the plight of any group that feels, if there's any sense of punching down, I understand that. However, I also think vice versa, as soon as you put yourself in a place of, in the same way that a comedian is now up for scrutiny in that way.
Oh, of course.
If you enter into the entertainment industry or into the political spectrum or are a public figure of any kind, if you're making the decision to go, I want people to notice me, listen to what I have to say, accept my opinions, my thoughts, or my art in a global scale or a national scale or even just a statewide scale, whatever it is, you are open to scrutiny, jokes, mocking, and all the trappings of that celebrity, that fame, that status that comes with it. So motherfucking XXXTentacion, I wish I'd written that joke about him.
Of course, but it
would have been a different fucking outcome, I think.
Of course, because it's a mirror reflection. You know what comes with it, and
Can
you're
I also say what I'm most
prepared for
upset about is that the comedy show is called This Week at the Comedy Cellar, and I was given every time I've appeared and recorded on it, which last season was twice, didn't end up in the final thing. They cut my jokes right before because they had to do what happened topically. And Pete Davidson fucked up, made a joke about the guy with an eye patch, the conservative, the Republican senator, blah, blah, blah. He made a joke about it, so they had to put a bin. Whatever. My jokes got cut 2 weeks in a row, and it really upset me because they said it had to be so topical. And what I'm pissed off most about is that he died over a year ago. It's not a topical joke.
But it's topical in the industry.
It's not, but it's not even fucking. So, you know what?
Raw in the industry.
In the first place, it shouldn't have been put in the program because there's motherfuckers like me desperately trying to write based on what they want
I'm
this week.
I'm just trying to do a set at the cellar. I don't even need the fucking show. Just let me walk in the cellar now that I have some TV credits to be like, you've seen him. I'm like, thank you. Thank you for allowing me after 10 years of bashing people in the South from the Texas, Arizona shows, doing shows everywhere. And people are like, you're hilarious. You're not famous? No. Why would I be? You need a cousin to be famous and nice tits, and I don't have them. But fuck it. She did her joke. She went down. It happens. You should have stood on. She should have stood on her joke.
She should definitely have stood on the joke.
You stand on your joke.
I agree with that. But I can also, look, we're trying to be empathetic to everyone, right?
No, we're not. No, I'm not.
I am.
I'm empathetic when you make a joke about a young black man being killed violently.
Okay.
That is it. Him shot, fuck him. He gets stabbed, fuck him. He's shot and he dies violently over a worthless crime. I am insanely empathetic.
See, I'm more empathetic. Not even just empathetic. I'm more stimulated to actual action. By that I mean not just whinging online. I'm talking about going to a fucking march, which I've done for Black Lives Matter back when I lived back in New York. But I'm more likely to go and march down to the fucking local council house and go, yo, we need this to be dealt with a community if a young black man is killed by a police officer or is shot traveling home and he's fucking 15 and someone thinks he's a grown man, some old white woman goes, there's a young black man breaking into the community. But I also, if a fucking rapper shows off about his money and is literally flexing on his fucking fans.
That's what they do.
And then someone turns up and shoots him to take his money. I'm going to go, that's really sad that happened, but also, you're dumb.
Yeah, exactly.
XXX, you're dumb.
That's why I said, I have no issue with the joke. It's a funny joke.
I would never make a joke about Nipsey Hussle, because this man it was such a ludicrous thing. And also, I think that was a real loss to the world for him dying.
I feel when anyone...
I wasn't up online going like, Ripsey Hussle, am I right? Come on, man.
God.
I'm not going to do that shit.
No, you can't.
I just did it.
They're going to come for you.
They'll come for me. Yeah, fuck
they
yeah.
will.
Yeah, they roll deep. Yeah, especially in fucking LA. No, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you have to... But fuck, even if you did do that, I go, there's still a right to tell that joke, man.
I mean, no, you do have a right to tell that joke, but if you were...
Without fear of being threatened with death because you made a joke.
No, because if I see you at an open mic and you're telling a Nipsey Hussle shot, I'm going to be like...
You're going to pull a gun out?
I'm going to pull you to the side and say, I bought a lot of items out of his store. I was a big supporter of Nipsey when he was around.
Yeah.
I used to go to the store. His dad would be doing interviews in the store.
Sure.
And I would tell you, this is a very... even though he's a gang member, this is a close-knit community.
You'd be like, my white friend.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you, you're gonna die.
I would tell you. I would be like, you are fucking with the wrong people.
You're gonna die. Please stop. Stop.
This was a king. This is a general of this town.
Absolutely.
Don't make that. Don't. Martin Luther King doesn't get shot, and then you say,
all right, well, don't turn it into something. Now you're making it into something. Now people are gonna start tweeting me.
No, we're not making it into something. You didn't make the joke, but she made that joke, and that's what I'm saying. Someone should have told her, hey, there's a lot going to come with this joke. Mm-hmm. But no one ever does that to them. That's why I said there's no real class of comedy. Athletes, I feel like entertainers get it all the time.
Can I make also another comment? Because, we've done the hour.
Yeah,
there's still a little bit more that I want us to chat, just for another 10 minutes. If you can
Go ahead, I'm good.
I also wonder, is it also about, obviously it's based on current tensions.
Yeah.
Nationwide tensions.
Of course.
Global tensions, which we're experiencing in England as well. A lot of racism, a lot of fucking backwards opinions about, immigrants and people of different colours.
Correct.
Here's the difference though, if a black comic gets up on stage, I just want to throw this as a concept.
Go ahead.
If a black comic gets up on stage and makes a joke about, imagine Bieber got fucking shot.
Okay.
Killed and robbed and shot. And a black comic got up and made some kind of offhand joke about Bieber. Here's what I think. No. But you know what I mean? But here's the difference. I feel like there would almost be, because of current climate, there would almost be, and let's say it's a year on.
Okay.
Exactly. Let's try and put it into a similar context, right? I think there would be more of a, but they're allowed to make the joke because they've suffered more than us. Black comics have definitely suffered more than a white comic in general life.
And there's
it depends on who the comic is.
There's that aspect, but not Bieber. If he made that joke about Bieber, I'd be like this: your fucking career is over. You are over for 4 to 5 years. You could be able to play clubs, but you're not gonna get any TV spots.
No difference. No one's gonna fucking start tweeting at them. I'm coming for you.
No, but your career is
dead. The believers are coming for you.
I would rather someone say I'm gonna hurt your mother than actually destroy my comedy career. Because you say that shit about Justin Bieber, guess what? You're done. All the TV spots. So this is the
order: young black men, comedians, your mother. That's how much you care about people in the world. That's the order.
Yeah, because I'm just saying you can't black comedians get away with a lot of things. Guess what? We don't get away with talking about transgenders. We don't get away with talking about gays anymore. We don't get away with
really?
Oh shit.
You're not playing the same clubs as me. I see loads of that.
That's clubs.
I see loads of that, and you know why?
We're talking about when that camera comes out.
No, fuck camera. We're talking about clubs as well here.
Clubs. Because
comedy it's all together. It's everything.
Okay.
Comedy is comedy, man. Whether it's on screen or not. I know. In fact, I won't say their names because I don't want to put them in any kind of positions. At least two very successful black. No, because it's not my place to. It's not. They said this to me in confidence. I've had 2 very prolific black comedians who are very successful right now on lots of TV say to me, it's a great fucking time to be a black comic. Because not only can I make jokes about the shit that I've been making jokes about for years, I can now make fun about white people, gay people, about everything that's happening. I can do it because I am one of the victims. So therefore, carpet blanket, I'm given a bit of a hall pass to make jokes. Now, I'm just repeating what's been told to me.
I
said, that's interesting.
Listen,
if you made the same jokes about race or sexuality or gender that I make, you would be jumped on because you're a straight white dude.
Of course.
No.
But I can't make the jokes that a rich, prominent black comedian can make either.
Of course not.
No, you have...
No. These guys have fame. They have fame and they have money and success.
Yeah. You could, of course,
but
he can
they're
get
a little bit more untouchable. Look, you already used Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle can make jokes about the transgender community, and he's not transgender. He has no place to say it. He's not friends with lots of transgender people. He doesn't have like a fucking transgender girlfriend. There's nothing to tie him to that, and there's no empathy from him to that community. And yet he makes the jokes, and people will go, "It's Dave Chappelle."
Exactly.
Come on, it's funny.
But I got a lot of young cousins who were like, "Oh, I didn't like that joke, and I don't really like him anymore." And I was like, "Oh, you're tripping. This is Dave Chappelle." Yeah. So, but there are give and take with it. That's why the whole thing. Seinfeld doesn't want to do colleges anymore. Dave can't play. You can't tell any jokes to him because the style of jokes that you came up doing, they don't enjoy those jokes, and that's just it. That's what everybody has to understand. So when XXXTentacion, whatever his fans, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I know I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah, no, I think it's XXXTentacion, but I mean, I
don't fucking care how you say his name. I wasn't a fan.
Wait, you don't have empathy for this man.
I do have empathy for him.
He has a name.
I know.
Ronaldo. He has a name.
What does mama name him? Because that's what I'm going to call him. But that's the whole point is we're not. Comedy's in a weird fucking place, man. And it's because I blame the old heads. This is me. I'm on my soapbox. You didn't fucking keep your hand on the wheel. You took your hands off. They went on vacation. They went crazy with the cocaine and the little TV
all of them
specials.
Got incredibly wealthy, incredibly famous, and fucked off and left comedy for 10 years. And then
now they come back and they like, what happened?
Through, which was, we understand everyone and we're understanding of everyone and we don't want to offend anyone's sentimentality. And it's like, all right, and this is why equality and diversification within the TV industry was a terrible idea. Because when it was loads horrible. Of old, rich white men, God, you could say anything.
You could do. You could say. You just had to be the
Let
best
me just
at
highlight,
it.
That was a joke. Before anyone gets up in arms, I think diversification is a wonderful idea. I just also think that now we have to take everyone's sensitivities into consideration. And in comedy, you can't take everyone's sensitivities into consideration.
Not at all.
Otherwise, you will stop being able to make jokes about anything.
Of course.
And then people go, well, you can still make jokes about certain things. It's like, not without upsetting someone. Not without upsetting someone.
Somebody's always going to be upset. But like I said, this is a coaching moment that someone should have took her through and said.
Try not to upset rappers fans because they're a little bit more fucking heavy.
Fuck them. Go for it. Whoever you upset, you have to understand you're going to have to deal with the people who love them and care about them. I'm going to make a joke about a rapper in my 30-minute special.
Oh, yeah?
Who?
Nah, tell me.
Kevin Gates. Because I was on set for his music video. And I was like, oh, this nigga just talks in prison riddles. Like, that's how he talks. It's gibberish. But it sounds intelligent. I'm like, it's just dumb prison talk. Nigga, like, who's listening to this moron? So I'm going to make fun of him. Guess what? I feel like some of his fans are. I don't give a fuck. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, in Los Angeles. I'm not even supposed to be
eaten by some kind of like alligator or something.
No,
right now,
I'm literally supposed to be working a dead end 9-to-5 job or.
Well, you are.
Office.
You're a comic. It's all right.
That's a dead end job that's ever been one.
You're a comic in LA.
Exactly. Tell me about it.
You pay $10.
$10 if I'm lucky to get on the car.
3 times a week, maybe.
Oh no, I'm not even. No, that would be a godsend. $30. That would cover my gas. I'm in a Prius. That would cover my gas. Goddamn it! I would.
You have a Prius?
I have a Prius.
With 2001 Toyota Corolla.
See, well, I
can't empathize with you anymore. You're way more wealthy.
I had a pickup truck. It blew up, and I had to get a car fast. And I was like, I need something that's not gonna kill my.
No, but you had Prius money, dude.
No. This is an old Prius. This is somebody's grandma.
You had old Prius money, dude.
It has dents all over it. That's how I got it.
Prius with dents money, dude.
Yeah, I did.
You can't make it sound worse to me. I'm in a 2001 Toyota Corolla, dude.
First off, ask Jeff how much money he's blown over his lifetime.
Oh, no, I spent a lot of it on drugs and dating, but, you know.
I have yet to reach that point where I could be like, oh, man, I blew a couple 6 figures.
Okay, that's fair.
I have never. That's fair. Because I haven't gotten
I didn't blow 6 figures. I wasn't that.
I don't have enough to blow 2 figures on dating and drugs.
I've definitely spent 5.
Oh, I tell you, when I get to that point, America, the shit that I'm going to say on stage.
But I worked hard to get that money.
Exactly.
I
know you
hustled
did.
for it. I worked hard. I got myself out of a situation. I got myself into a good place.
I know you did.
And then I spent it the way that any good young black man spends it. On drugs and women. And now I have nothing.
Listen, I don't know what else we're doing this shit for, so I tell people, enjoy.
Dude, moving to America is the blackest decision I could have ever made.
You think?
Yeah, I took away at least half of my privileges by becoming an immigrant in a country.
Oh, your accent cuts through so much shit for you, though.
Don't be silly.
As soon as you start talking, they're like, he knows. He's British.
You have no idea because you don't. And like honestly, anyway, That's a different thing.
Exactly.
I still can walk around Ralph's without getting followed.
No.
If a police officer pulls me over, it's likely I'm not going to get 6 bullets in the head just for being in the car.
No.
But I am not liked in this country by government agencies, by the bureaucracy. On a daily basis, my life is made harder because I'm an immigrant. That's all they see. They see you as, on paper, you're a fucking immigrant.
Well, we're trying to get rid of all of them right now.
I know.
That's what America's on right now.
In that respect, you're slightly more protected, but unfortunately not by some of the institutions.
Yeah, I don't feel protected at all.
No, absolutely not. No, do I. But
exactly.
anyway, wow. Well, we got into it.
I know we did.
I'm glad that we talked about it because I do understand. I now that you could explain a little bit more what you meant.
Yeah.
I still am going to say one thing, which I think is that it is my. It doesn't have to be everyone's, but it is my opinion that comedians have to first and foremost protect the joke and protect each other.
Yeah.
To be able to make jokes. I agree wholeheartedly that if you crack gags in 2019 about anyone, you have to think of the ramifications and you have to accept what's going to come after it. And I also think that even though he was a good musician, he was a piece of shit. And as soon as you put yourself in the limelight and you're a woman beating a pregnant
He's so
woman,
young, I can't hold that.
I don't give a fuck.
Chris Brown just sold 30 million records.
Guess what? I'm 35. When I was 21, I didn't think it was right to hit a woman. And when I was 17, I didn't think it was right to hit a woman. When I was 11, I didn't think it was right to hit a woman. And it'd never be right to hit a woman. So unless she's coming at me with a gun
or a knife, then
a gun or a knife, and then maybe
you can defend yourself.
You can defend yourself.
You defend yourself.
But yeah, so yeah. But I'm glad we talked about it, and I see a little bit more of what you're saying. I get it. Dina, I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe drop the rapper material.
She'll be fine.
You know what she should do?
Just do it in clubs. Don't do it on TV.
No, what she should do is release a fucking rap video.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Address it. If she was really going to do it, she should release a fucking rap video.
That would be awesome.
Doing comebacks to everyone who shit talked her.
It would be awesome.
That would be hilarious. And that would be a great way to own the situation and to make something light of it. And even maybe garner just a modicum of understanding or respect from a community that already fucking hates you. You can be like, well, at least she wrote some
I'm telling you,
bars.
it wasn't, but that's not the black community came after. That is just rabid fans. That's mainstream fans losing their shit. That's why I said, you haven't even talked to a black comic who's going to be like, no, I understand what you did. I don't have an issue with your joke, but you don't make that joke. Like, we're not making that joke right now. You don't make that joke right now.
It's just too hot.
It's too raw. It's too raw because, like I said, every week it happens to us, and we're still fighting an uphill battle of stop killing us. It's not cool. We have that issue with black men. We're still telling young black men, stop killing black men.
Oh, yeah. Maybe what she should have done is actually she should have made the joke less about, even though the joke ended up being a joke about money and about the concept of that and Venmo, she could maybe have even made the joke more about
rappers,
about black on black crime and about that. If she actually highlighted, if she delved into that side of it, which she probably didn't do for fear of wanting to incite this kind of upset, if she'd actually done that, maybe what would have happened is people would have gone, well, at least she highlighted the issue, through humor,
and that's how you circumvent these substantial these things that happen. But hey, you live and you learn, Dina. You live and you learn.
She can still get Dubai money, and Dubai money is good.
She's gonna be fucking all right.
She's Middle Eastern, isn't she? She can fly out there.
First off,
throw a shawl on.
You're a woman in comedy with a Comedy Central credit. You'll be fucking fine. Calm down.
Yeah. Can't believe her joke got in and then taken out. At least mine ended up on the cutting room floor before it even got to air.
She went viral. She's viral, folks.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone knows her name. Yeah. All right. Renaldo Evans, thank you so much, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate you coming to talk to me. I feel like we reached a good place where we have a better understanding of each other and of comedy. This is not what you do. Just rant about one particular comedian's joke the entire normally you get on stage and you talk about a whole plethora of stuff. I think you're an incredibly talented comedian, so I would hope to incite death threats. No, sorry, more audiences at your shows. People can come and check out the live special if they want to get tickets for that. That's on August 31st. There's still tickets available.
Yeah. Oh yeah, tickets available.
Fantastic. It's gonna be shot in Palm Springs.
At
step one, right?
Zozo Hotel, formerly the Hard Rock in Palm Springs. Folks, just give them my name. Come on out. I don't even know what the ticket sale price is going to be. They haven't released that information yet.
What's the website? If they want to check out where you're performing live, if people want to check you out.
Go to my website, RenaldoEvans.com, but you can catch me on Instagram at Renaldo Evans. That's where I'm usually posting all my shows. So, yeah.
There you go. Give him a follow on social. Make sure you check him out and make sure you go and see him live. Check out the comedy special. Who knows? He might do a quick 5 minutes.
Yeah, Amazon
Dina
Prime.
And that joke. That would be good. I'd like to see that. I'd love to see you address her joke and the why it wasn't right to make that joke and build that into the comedy. Maybe.
I don't have a problem doing it. I might do it for you just in case.
Yeah, well, don't do it just for me. Do it because you want to include it in your fucking special. But I think there could be great humor in that, and it could be a bit of learning.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Make sure, of course, you support our wonderful sponsors as well. We got to do this. This is how if you support the sponsors, if you use the codes that get you money off on these wonderful products, they continue to sponsor us, and then I can get more sponsors, and then I can stop begging you for fucking donations through Patreon at the beginning of every episode, because I know a lot of you are fed up of it. So, manscaped.com, are you a hairy guy?
No, but when you did Manscaped, I was like, shit, I want to buy Manscaped, so I'm going to use that code.
And there you go. And also, you got curly hair, I imagine. All the hair's curly,
Nah, mine's
right?
straight. Mine's straight. I have straight hair. Look at
Really?
my edges. Look at my edges right here. Come on, look at these. Yeah, I don't have, my hair doesn't curl up, sorry.
I mean, it looks more Afro-Caribbean than it does white.
Of course, but
so you get curls.
No, but I don't. My hair does not curl.
When you grow your hair out, does it not go into an afro?
Yes, but it's not that. It's thick. My hair is thick, actually. That's why I say if you look at my edges, they're not the twisty edges. I can show you my underarm hair. I don't. My hair doesn't curl. It grows out straight. I'm sorry, everybody.
Okay.
I apologize.
Well, then I'm sure even if you did have curly hair, the Lawnmower 2.0 take care of that business.
Oh yeah, man.
It's got it's got SkinSafe technology, man. So only one of the blades is metal, and the other one is like made out of this product that basically stops any kind of cutting or nicking.
That's awesome.
So yeah, as long as you go with the grain of the hair, you know that, right?
Yes.
You got to go with the way the hair grows.
Yeah, I'm just cutting any kind of way.
Like, if I'm holding it, obviously I'm holding it. Well, I need two hands to hold the. In fact, I have to get my girlfriend to help me, so I hold the penis to the side like that, and then she just goes along the shaft with it. It's a great bonding experience as well. No, it's a great bonding experience. So you have like, how can I explain it? It's kind of like holding a Coke can, but it's really long, and then you go along the shaft.
He's holding it, just
gargantuan.
Fireman hose. He's got a fireman hose penis.
Like a giant, beautiful, like a zucchini, like a thick zucchini. Not an aubergine. I don't know why they use the aubergine as the thing. It's not an aubergine. It's not an eggplant. It's a zucchini. No one has an eggplant dick. Zucchini dick. That's what I got. I got zucchini dick. Well, but a good thickness and a great length.
There you go.
And then along the shaft, they got bull wipes if you get a little sweaty. Like, it's a sweaty day today, right?
Yes, it is.
I'll give you a bull wipe, man.
That's
Grab one of
crazy.
those. Give yourself a little douse like that.
Always,
Throw it.
always
machine.
need
It flushes down the toilet. And then you got like aftershaves. You got shampoos. All of their stuff smells really good. Check them out. Manscaped.com. Use code SAVAGE. You'll get 20% off all their products. Can't say fairer than that. You'll also get free shipping on every order, and you get a free travel bag worth $50. It's a lovely leather bag.
That's dope.
And also check out Boundless Tech over here. You like smoking?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, little weed.
Yes.
Little weeds. We're in California. That's what we do. We smoke the weeds and we listen to the Nipsies. I'm going to spend the weekend listening to the Nipsey Hussle and smoking the marijuanas.
Good choice.
Oh,
good
God.
weekend.
That's
a good weekend.
British, I can make it sound. If you love smoking a little bit of flower, or you like resin, or you like distillate, or isolate, or any of those good things, check out Boundless Tech, BNDLStech.com. They got this terp pen right now, which is $30, but if you use code SAVAGE, you get 25% off. And it's super thin. It can fit in your pocket, almost like a pen. It's literally like that. And you can just, it's amazing. The battery life is incredible. It's got ceramic coils on the end. It's a really good bit of equipment if you like to smoke resin or distillate or dab. And also, if you want to use flour, I would suggest the Terra. That's the one I use. It heats up to anything up to 437 degrees Celsius, I think, all the way up, or Fahrenheit, sorry, all the way up.
Celsius.
Yeah, Celsius.
It
It would
lava.
explode in your hand,
Lava.
and that would be dangerous. So make sure you check out those products. Use code SAVAGE, you get 20% off. 25% off everything. Renaldo Evans, thanks for joining me.
No problem, man.
Thanks for putting the world to rest. Dina Hashem, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
You're going to be okay.
You'll be fine.
And your mum, I don't know. I can't promise.
She's going to be fine, too.
She's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. Love you guys. Bye.